Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Just Bulldogs podcast. We've had a week off with the bye, a bit of a rest and relaxation weekend, watching a bit of footy. But now we are back, and this week we are headed up north to the Central Coast to take on the Sydney Roosters at Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. It's a local game for me, so I'll definitely be attending that one. Um, I will get straight into the preview. Going through the Roosters lineup quickly, they have James Tedesco at fullback. On the wings, Daniel Tupou and Dom Young. In the centres, Fedalagi Palga and Joey Manu. At 5'8", Luke Keary with Sam Walker at halfback. In the front row, Jared Hargraves and Terrell May. Brendan Smith at dummy half. Nat Butcher and Victor Radley in the back row with Nafua White at lock. On the bench, Sandon Smith, Blake Steep, Satili Tupanua, and C.R. Wong. And they're extended Ethan King, ex-Bulldog Dylan Napa, Tyler Moriarty, Hugo Savala, and Celesi Foketi. A few Roosters players out due to Origin. So a bit of a weakened pack, but as we know, the Roosters, a very strong side, always very quality depth. So definitely still a very, very strong team. Roosters players missing this one include Spencer Leniu, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins, and Angus Crichton playing in the Origin. But they also have Dom Young and Brendan Smith returning to the side. So definitely some very quality players coming back in. So definitely going to be a very tough team to go against, but a little bit weaker in the forward pack due to Origin. So a bit of a leg up in one position for us, but definitely not an easy game. We'll get into our Bulldogs lineup. At fullback, we have Connor Tracy. On the wings, his first game of the 2024 season, Gerald Skelton and Blake Wilson. In the centres, Bronson Cherry and Jacob Kiraz. 5'8" is Matt Burton with Toby Sexton at halfback. In the front row, Max King and Samuel Hughes with Reid Marnie at dummy half. In the back row, Josh Curran and Jamin Semin. At lock, we've got Bailey Hayward. On the bench, Jake Turpin, Pawasa Farmasili, Curtis Morin, and Lipoi Hopoi. And on our extended, Drew Hutchison, Blake Taff, Eli Clark, Harry Hayes, and Viliami Kikau, with a chance of Viliami Kikau coming into the starting side on game day. So definitely something to look out for there. Going through our lineup quickly, we have Stephen Crichton missing from the side as he has been selected for this New South Wales State of Origin once again. So congratulations, Stephen Crichton. Very well deserved. Played excellent in the first State of Origin game. So I don't see him missing out on New South Wales selection anytime in the near future. And coming in for him is Gerald Skelton, a player that I am a very big fan of. He's been at the club for a couple of years now. Made his debut last season and played a handful of games, but hasn't been able to lock down a consistent role in the first grade side. He's been absolutely dominating in New South Wales Cup runs for close to 300 metres a game. A tackle breaking machine, loves a try, good in the air, but just an absolute damaging ball runner. A couple of defensive problems to his game, something that is one part of his game that he does need to work on. But in attack, he's pretty incredible. He's great getting out of his own end and a good finisher as well. Very elusive for a guy that is his size. So a very quality player to come into the side with Stephen Crichton going to Origin. Gerald Skelton stands 191 centimetres tall and 104 kilos out on the wing. So very quality player. Still 25 years old, so plenty of years left in him. Doesn't have to lock in that first grade spot yet, but I know that he'll start to be getting impatient if he can't get a few more games. But here's one for him to really show what he can do in the top grade. So good luck to Gerald Skelton. Really hope he has a big game. A player that I am a very big fan of. So hope he really rips in this one. Other spots, Matt Burton is available for the Dogs after dropping from the New South Wales side. A lot of people talking about it in the lead up to the Origin selection. About him being 18th man potentially again, and there's a lot of people talking about it. We can't have Matt Burton being the 18th man for New South Wales every single time if he's never going to get picked when there's an injury or a player come from the side. In this one in particular, there's been 5 changes to the New South Wales team, and they don't want to put Matt Burton in the side. Then why is he your 18th man? if he's good enough to be your 18th man, if there's players getting injured or taken from the squad, he should be good enough to come in and replace those guys. But if you're not going to have him in your team, then stop picking him as 18th man so he can't play for the Bulldogs. So very happy that he wasn't picked as 18th man in this one, so he is available to us. I do want Bulldogs players playing State of Origin. I want as many of our players playing representative football. But if you're picked as 18th man and you're not getting on the field and you're also not playing for the Bulldogs, then it's doing more harm than good. And Matt Burton's been in that position a lot of times over the past this season and in 2023. So pretty happy that he wasn't selected as the 18th man so he can play for the Bulldogs in this game. But I do want Bulldogs players selected in representative teams as much as possible. So I'm sure Matt Burton will be back in that arena sometime in the future. He's been playing very good football this year. And I know that he'll really want to stand out in this game to show that he should have been picked. So I do expect a very big game from Matt Burton. Other changes, this is their first game without Jacob Preston after he had his ankle injury. It sounds like it's not going to be too bad, just a few weeks on the sideline, so a lot better than initially thought. But we have Josh Curran starting in the back row right now as of the initial team list. Viliami Kikau on the extended bench. It sounds like he could come into the side. Hopefully he does. Josh Curran this year has been playing very well as a bench forward coming on after about 20 minutes and then playing out the game. So hopefully we can get that going still. I think Josh Curran offers a lot more to us as a middle forward. He is very good in the back row. It's probably his better position overall, but for this Bulldogs team, I really want him in that bench forward role. So hopefully Viliami Kikau's good to go. And Viliami Kikau being our most dangerous weapon, especially with Stephen Crichton missing from the side. Hopefully Viliami Kikau's healthy and good to go. But something that we'll have to look out for closer to game day, either in the 24-hour update or the hour before kickoff. So definitely something to watch out for there if Viliami Kikau comes into the side. But talking about Josh Curran, him and Bailey Hayward have been cleared to play. Both of them, because we had the bye last week, didn't have to miss any time with their 11-day stand down after the HIA. So very happy to see them two named in the side. Oh, sorry. And then in the 14, Kurt Mann was suspended for 2 weeks off that crusher tackle. So Jake Turpin comes into the side to play that lock role where he will likely interchange with Bailey Hayward. And then we see Pawasa come into the side as well. So potential for some changes. I think Harry Hayes is very close to a debut. So him being a Central Coast boy, would be cool to see him make his debut in a bit of a home stadium kind of deal. So definitely one to look out for there. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes to the side, especially if Viliami Kikau isn't ready to go. I think that would be more likely for Harry Hayes to come in. But I think there is very good potential that they both could come into the side. So one to look out for there. I think there's a very good chance Harry Hayes does make his debut. Where I think we should be targeting this side. Last time we went up against them, it was a tale of two halves. Bulldogs absolutely dominated the first half before the headed into the break with a very big lead, and then very nearly giving it all away, and just pulling away in the back end of the game to come away with a win. But where we done very well against this Roosters side last time was using our left edge. Very much through Viliami Kikau. Matt Burton and Kikau really linking up well together to get down that Roosters right side. A lot of that is dependent on Viliami Kikau being as damaging as he is, but also using him as a very dangerous looking decoy. So without Kikau there, our left edge doesn't quite run as well. I'm very curious to see who they put there in this one. I think they've been using Jamin Semen as a bit of a putting him on either side, depending on the matchup. Against the Parramatta Eels, their left edge was their weak deficiency. So I think they left Jacob Preston on that right side to really utilize his attacking ability. So they left Jamin Semen down on the left side. But in this one, I think that the Roosters' right side could potentially be where we want to look at going. Utilizing our best attacking half in Matt Burton and the guys outside him, Bronson Cherry, and I expect Blake Wilson to be going down that left edge. So curious to see which back rower they put with him. If it's Josh Curran, if Viliama Kickout's healthy, then he'll definitely be the left side. But yeah, without Viliama Kickout, we're not too sure if he'll be in the side yet. So definitely one to look out for there. Who is the left side back rower? Because that's definitely a player that I really think we'll be looking to focus our attack on to get at the Roosters right side half, which I believe is Sam Walker. I think that plays on their right side. So smaller body, but that is both of their halves. I expect both of our back rows to really get the ball pushed through them in this one, getting at Luke Keary and Sam Walker, two undersized halves. So two spots in this Roosters defensive line that I really think we should be targeting. Roosters also have Palga playing left centre for him in this one. A young fella hasn't played too many NRL games. Looks pretty good in the games that he's played so far in the 2024 season. But out of the centre pairing that this Roosters side have, he was the one that I'd look to target. So he'll be playing on the left edge. So I believe that'll be Jacob Kiraz going up against him. And then if we can get Gerald Skelton one-on-one or just any good quality ball close to the line with a bit of room to move, I believe he'll be very difficult to stop. So hopefully Toby Sexton can really turn it on in this one. Just give early ball to Gerald Skelton out wide and let him run. Very damaging and very tough play to take on. Definitely not someone that I'd be trying to tackle one-on-one close to the try line. Would be a very difficult task. But we've seen in the past Jacob Kiraz very good with the offload, good at drawing in contact, sucking in a couple defenders before getting the ball out and offloading it to his man on his outside. So if Jacob Kiraz can get that going in this game and can get Gerald Skelton some late ball with a scrambled defensive line, really a spot where I could see Gerald Skelton really do some damage. So coming into this one as a starting winger, I think Gerald Skelton could be in for a very big game. So really look for that right side attack to get going as well. But very strong side for this Roosters side. So not really any particular point on the field where you can really focus on getting points on the board. Just got to really get the roll on, get into the grind of the game, and then get the points as they come. Last time we played against them, we really blew it out in the first half, put plenty of points on the board. It's unlikely that that's going to happen again. We can hope and pray that it does, but yeah, this one I think it'll be a bit more of a grindy game, a bit of a low scorer. Both teams really trying to hold on to a quality spot on the ladder. Roosters in 5th at the moment and the Bulldogs in 6th. Winner of this game jumps the other one and really fights for a spot in the top 4. So very important game for both clubs. So really looking forward to the Bulldogs really standing up in this one to really try and own that spot higher up on the. But one spot in this Rooster side, as I said, very strong across the park. But one spot where I do think we could potentially take advantage of them is later on in the game when Jared Rea-Hargreaves and Terrell May come off the field. On their bench, they don't really have any out-and-out front rowers that really play that spot consistently. Sandon Smith, utility half and dummy half. But the rest of them, Blake Steve, Satili Tupanua, and Seo Wong, more back rowers than middle forwards. So definitely Satili Tupanua, Seo Wong are decently big bodies, but they do generally play out wide. Nat Butcher and Victor Radley, again, Nat Butcher an edge back row. Victor Radley played a fair bit of lock, but I reckon they'll be really trying to hold him into that edge back row spot. Nafua White, middle forward, so he's sold there. So their starting side is decently big. But yeah, as their rotation starts to go, they really lose some size and power in their middle forward. So if especially if Viliami Kickout can come into the side and Josh Curran can move into that bench forward role, I really think that 30-minute mark, the last 10 minutes before halftime, is really where we could potentially really start to roll through this Rooster side, especially as Brendan Smith gasses out and Sandon Smith has to come into the side, a smaller body in the middle of the field to go along with Hargreaves and Terrell May coming from the side. In the later parts, I definitely think towards that 30-minute mark, either side of halftime, we could really start to roll through this Rooster side, and that's where when the points could potentially come. So definitely something to look out for there. Expect a big game from all of our middle forwards to try and bust through this Roosters side, particularly in the later parts of the game. Sorry. But yeah, that's about where I think we should be targeting this side. Very quality Rooster side, but I definitely think we have a very good chance to come away with a win. Heading into this one as pretty strong underdogs, $1.40 to $3 right now. Um, I think there's a good chance that that closes up closer to the game. I think dogs are a bit better than the $2.99 that the sports bet's showing right now. So I definitely think that could get a bit closer. I think dogs are a very good chance to come away with a win. Um, Spots where I think we're looking to score. Both of our back rowers getting over the Roosters halves, and then I think Gerald Skelton down that right side is a pretty good bet. So definitely a spot to look out for. And also, I think Matt Burton's in for a pretty big game, not getting picked for this Origin side after playing some pretty good football this year. They're the players that I really think will look to stand up in this one. So my prediction for this one, I think Bulldogs come away with a win. A lot lower score than last time these two teams matched up. So look for Bulldogs to come away with a win, 22 points to 16, relatively close, but Bulldogs come away with a win. And my spotlight player in this one will be Matt Burton. After not being picked for State of Origin, I really think he'll look to stand out in this one and show that he should have been in that arena and try his best to get into that squad for Game 3. So Matt Burton will be my spotlight player for this one. I'm going to have a quick break and then I'll talk a little bit about the New South Wales under 19 State of Origin side and the Bulldogs that are representing in that one. So on Thursday night, New South Wales take on Queensland in the State of Origin under 19s, one game competition. So we have a few Bulldogs representing in this one that'll go over. The three players are halfback Mitch Woods, front rower Fanafu Seve, and second rower on the extended bench is Logan Spinks. A few very quality players, some good young players that I think have a very big future for the Bulldogs and the NRL. Particularly, the first one we'll go over the halfback Mitch Woods. He is an outstanding prospect. He's going into this one as an 18-year-old, turned 18 in May, so he's playing a year up in this under 19s Origin. He re-signed with the Bulldogs long term at the start of the 2024. He was highly sought after from multiple codes, rugby union, AFL. Sydney Swans really wanted to sign him, but Bulldogs managed to snag his signature to keep him at the club for the next few years. He was a halfback for Bulldogs in SG Ball this year. He played in the city side in the city country this season, but he is a dominant halfback. He played 5'8" in that game, got a few try assists, really showed off what he could do through his running game, his passing game, and his kicking game. He's an all-round package, can do a bit of everything, but you can tell when he's on the field, he's a leader on the field with a great running game. He's always looking to get his outside backs involved around him. He's not just a runner. He does pass as well. He's got a great cutout ball. Throws the rainbow style cutout ball. But yeah, very exciting prospect, a player that I'm very excited for. You've probably heard about it on a few other podcasts that when the Bulldogs were considering signing Mitch Moses, they weren't going to throw the $1 million mark out at him because they knew they had Mitch Woods coming through the ranks. That's how much the Bulldogs really think of this young fella, Mitch Woods. So a player that I'm very excited for. He's wearing the 7 for New South Wales in this under 19 State of Origin. So make sure if you're checking this game out, you're keeping an eye on him. I believe he is the future of the Bulldogs. He could potentially debut next season, but I think they will take it slow with him. They won't just chuck him in the deep end and leave him there. I think they'll develop him and bring him in when the side's ready and when he's ready. So one that I'm very excited for, especially in this game. Next one up, we've got the front rower Fanafu Seve. Very big body, 191 centimeters, 124 kilos at 18 years old. He turns 19 this year, so he is a proper under 19s player. But yeah, a very exciting player, very damaging front rower. He played with Mitch Woods in the SG Ball comp this year, 10 games this year in that SG Ball competition. He played with Mitch Woods as well in the City New South Wales City game in the under 18 side, but a big body, very damaging, very big for his age. So I know that he'll develop very well. I think there's a good chance that he'll be starting to get some New South Wales Cup games under the belt, but a player that also has a big future with the club. So another one, starting front rower in this under 19 side. And then the final one is Logan Spinks. Um, I believe, yeah, so Bulldogs Junior, 18 years old as well, turns 19 this year. 190 centimeters, 98 kilos. Played in the Jersey Flag side this year. 11 SG Ball Cup games this year as well. So don't know if he played in the grand final with the other players, but he definitely participated in that side. Australian schoolboy, a very exciting back row. He's got a decent bit of ability about him. Good hole runner with a good passing game to go with it. So Logan Spinks, unlikely that he comes into the side, but potentially could. One to look out for there if a late change comes and he can come into the side. But unlikely we'll get to see him. But the two players, Mitch Woods and Fanafu Seve. Mitch Woods, a dynamic halfback, can play 5'8" or halfback. Played 5'8" in the City Country game, but halfback in this one as a year playing a year under with a very good kicking game with the running and passing game to go with a bit of a total package. A player to definitely look out for. So make sure to check out the under 19 State of Origin game on Thursday night, kickoff at 7:45. If you can get it out there, it's at Leichhardt Oval. If you check out the Rugby League Guru, he's doing 2-for-1 tickets. So make sure to jump on that if you're trying to get out there and can support our Bulldogs juniors as New South Wales take on Queensland. But that'll do for that one. A lot of exciting faces in that game, but we'll just stick to talking to our Bulldogs players coming through. But that'll do for the podcast. That'll do for our preview of the Bulldogs versus Roosters and our Bulldogs representing New South Wales in the under 19 State of Origin game. Appreciate you for listening. If you want more content, make sure to check out at JustBulldogs. On Instagram and Twitter. But yeah, that'll do for this one. I appreciate everyone for listening, and I'll catch us next time. Bye.